Hello everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Stoneblock 2. I know today is a Volcano Block episode spot, but the Volcano Block server, and now it's gonna be a single player world, is crashing, and I currently don't have the time to deal with it, so possibly this week might only be Stoneblock episodes. If I can get the world sorted, we're gonna go back to Volcano Block for 2 days a week. If not, I'm just gonna be playing Stoneblock for the foreseeable future unless we find another pack or something else that we want to do. Maybe I'll even start streaming on vanilla and then I can post vanilla streams online or something like that, but we'll see. So for today, I want to deal with our bonsai pots. I want to make this a little bit better, make it a bit nicer on the top, and possibly cover it from the 2 sides on the back, as I said. So I might be removing a bunch of blocks, I think, because then we can just go this way and do a tunnel, like going this way or something, and this way as well, and we can just have a wall here. So I think that might look better because we can do a little bit more cavey of a thing. So let me gather some resources. I think, actually, first of all, why don't we move over some of the stuff that we have at spawn, so our ME system and all that, and maybe put it, maybe here would be a good spot. Possibly, I would maybe just want it here, just so we can have our terminals, like in this much space, I guess, and then we can have our drives or something on the side. I kind of want to have a good looking ME controller, maybe not as big as we went in Enigmatica 2, because that caused a lot of lag, which all the P2P tunnels and all that is what caused a lot of problems that I don't think we have refined storage here, which also when it gets to a point, it becomes laggy basically. So I don't know how big of a controller we'll have, how many stuff we'll control with AE, but we'll see basically. If we want to move our ME system over, we basically need to move everything that we have here over, because we're not going to have access to our resources if I just move my terminal and my drive. We're going to have whatever we're going to have in there, so I'm not really going to be able to do much. So I think in between episodes, I'll move all of these drawers and possibly reset up the system, or at least just get all of the items moved over and we can reset them up in the next episode. And I still am not entirely certain if I want to have these cables showing where items go. I think it kind of looks cool because you can actually see it. I would love to use the conveyor belts from Immersive, but they cause, I think, more lag than one of these cables will do with the servos on them. So I think we'll just stick with the ducts basically. So I think I'll just, as I said, gather some resources that we need for the Bonsai Pot Room thingy, and we'll get that going. They are all now gone, and I've moved over here where it looks really cool. I like the cave look. We have magma slime saplings, kind of like on a volcano-ish thing. We could add lava, possibly even just like a full block of lava, but that's gonna flow very weirdly. We would have to make it flow a certain way. But we could just add chisel and bits later. We don't even have to add anything. I think it looks really fine. We have, let's say, oak, birch, spiderweb. We have like a paper bark back there. We have a cha-cha all the way back there. We have a spruce on top of a hill. We have dark oak over there, I think. There's also silverwood and greatwood. So they're all in here and they're all looking nice. I actually might think of taking this out. And we can put it here. No, let's take this out as well, put that there, and then we can cover this up. I think that'll look better. A little bit. Yeah, because we can see the other one much nicer, I think. Maybe we do that. Maybe just remove that, put that there. That might look even better. Aha. Okay. If I keep looking at this, I'll find mistakes, so I'll stop looking at it. Okay, so this is complete. It is all connected. We can check out the connections down here. Basically, again, a mess of wires go into a crate and then a conduit extracting them into the drawer because they didn't want to extract directly into the drawer for some reason, and we're pretty much good on that. So they're all void upgraded and they're all regularly upgraded, so we can get a lot of things out of this, and that should be pretty neat. I believe it's time to set up a proper canola power plant. We can even probably start getting into the empowerer and getting empowered oil, and I think the first one is crystallized oil and then empowered oil. We need, for the oils, we need the crystallized oil to be made by taking a crystallized canola seed and dropping it on the floor. So we can do that with a fluid placer to place the thing on the floor, and then we can just use a scanner, probably. Will be easiest, I think. We can get that going. Just need some spider eyes. And we can detect what we have on the floor. We could even use integrated dynamics, but I think a scanner will just be easier. We can detect what's on the floor and detect the change, and then pick up the oil and store it in another tank. So what I think I'll do is we're gonna take all of our garden cloches. Do I care about the seeds in the dirt? Oh, you do get, it does drop them. Okay, that's fine. So we'll clean up everything here. I'm gonna set up an area at the new base, and hopefully we can get everything set up. I also made a Danknull, and it's glitching out. Why are you glitching out? Why is it so wonky on a server? Like, as soon as you get more than 128, I thought it was gonna work, but apparently not. It does kind of work, but I don't know if there's another thing that does the same thing as the Danknull does, at least as well as the Danknull does it. I know there's the Black Hole Talisman, but that's endgame Botania, which, I mean, not necessarily. It is endgame, it's Gaia Spirits. And I don't know if there's anything, any like sack that would hold, that automatically, I mean, it would be diamond backpacks, because you could essentially filter those, but they're disabled due to a bug. I don't really know if there's any other thing that would do what these does. I mean, we could get a storage bag, and we can toggle auto pickup, and we can store items inside of the bag, and then it automatically picks them up, but it doesn't store them the way the Danknull does. I don't know. Maybe I'll check the version of the Danknull mod and see if I can update it, possibly, if it's not been updated in a while and there's bug fixes in the new updates. I'm not sure. I have the beginning of our refined canola oil and powered canola oil and all that stuff factory kind of thing going. So next thing that we need is some silos. So I don't know how tall this must be. Manual. So 1, 2, 3, 4 tall off here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So here is where we would cover it fully, like that. And then we do something like this. And we need to leave the middle block empty. That would be 43. Can I just then click you with this? Aha, okay. So that is a fluid silo, which I think looks really cool and much better than using a drum, and it's gonna be much more immersive, if that makes sense. So this guy is gonna produce our oil, and we can use fluid ducts, which I don't have enough of here. And I made a home and called it temp, so I can easily teleport directly to my ME system. I don't know if I wanna, or how many homes I wanna allow. Possibly one will be enough, maybe just not allowing it at all at some point, but I'm gonna be using it right now because this going over there and then running here has been very boring all the time. So we need fluid ducts. I have 3 more. These are item ducts, so fluid duct. We need a couple more of these. Just make that many, that's fine. Let's go back home. And we're gonna get a severe lag spike. There you can see, and there we go. Okay, I think it just happens when it has to load everything. So I think this should output automatically, and we're not gonna need any servos, I don't think. And that should store as well. Can I change like the inputs and the outputs of this? Or do you output like only on the bottom here? We'll have to test. I can probably just use a servo and that should be fine. The one thing, since I'm using the scaffolding around stuff, if we, let's say we bring the scaffolding around here, right? Like that. And then we could bring it around here as well, around where the conveyor belts are. And then possibly here and here, and then around this machine. And then we would need to let's say bring it like this. And then to here, I think we'll do it like that. And then I can put something else in on the sides, maybe even just fill everything with scaffolding. But I want to keep like a line on the side. I think that looks fine. Maybe we remove this part. I don't know how that's going to look and how everything is going to look, but I'm going to see how I want to place the silo, because if I want to have a layer around it, maybe we have a layer that it's standing on, possibly like this. And then the middle part is kind of like, it has a little border around it, which is really cool. Maybe we even do basalt in betwixt parts, or some other scaffolding maybe. I don't know, like we do venting, for example, because we have this other part of scaffolding. If we have 3 left, but if we do this could look like venting. Actually, the other one, this one. If we put this here, for example, it could look like grates, and we can put something underneath and maybe have like a factory grating, because they have grates in factories where they need venting or something like that. That could look really cool. But I think I'm gonna move, if I move this one over, then we have a cable that goes wonky and not straight. And am I bothered by that? I don't know. I'm just taking you with me on a thinking process, basically, on how my brain works. But we need at least 4 of these silos, because one is going to be making or storing regular canola oil, which is going to be processed from the squeezer. Then we're going to output it into, let's say, we do it like this, and put this guy here. And do I have any more scaffolding here, or do I have to make more? Scaffolding. I don't have any more. Okay, that's fine. Do we have it here? We have 13 more. Magical. So this guy will be like this. And let's say we would have some fluid ducts go in like this, because then we can actually see the fluids. And then this would go into another silo, which would be here, right? And I'm out of scaffolding. But let's say another silo here, which would be just treated wood like this, and then I need to do a bit more digging. And then we can go possibly around in this way and set up from here. We would have, let's say, this much, and then another one of the machines that we would do. So basically this would go into a, the refined would go into the fluid placer, which I have made. And that would place it in the world and turn it into crystallized canola once we put in canola seeds that we crystallize by putting next to the atomic reconstructor. So we need to then possibly, since we have canola seeds here, right? What if we turn this guy, actually leave it that way, and then we can here on the back extract with an item duct, just canola seeds going into a dropper that drops them on the floor. The atomic reconstructor fires, turns them, we pick them up, store them in another drawer, and then we would bring them over to here. So that would be a bit interesting of how we want to do this. I'm thinking if we bring out of the cloches, we bring it to here, and then we can possibly bring it like underneath or maybe over this somehow. I'm going to have another think, and I'm going to go make more scaffolding. I'm going to see how much time we have left on the video and how much of this we can actually get done. So I'll be back. All right, I got it back to the point where we had it before in the old base, but now it's much more cooler and much more visual and slightly more beautiful. So we have regular canola. Why are you putting... Okay, no, that's fine. Yeah, I'm like, what the hell? What is wrong? No, it was fine. So this guy's processing canola. It's going into here and filling this guy up. And it is filling this guy up. And then we have regular canola oil coming into here, getting refined into refined canola oil, which is then getting into here. And we have this demonically gargantuan drum. So what I can do for now is just actually do this. And we're just gonna do an ignored on that. So it's going to extract everything. And here on the back, we're just going to say, actually, we're just going to say output, and then we're going to disable this guy. Because we have so much refined canola oil that we can drain into here and then use for power as well. And I think it's enough if we store the 512 buckets worth that go into here. We don't need to store 11 million buckets. So I think that is fine. I currently have just a dynamo here. I upgraded one to Signalum tier, so it produces 400 RF attack, which is really nice. I don't know if we look at refined canola oil, if I can use this with something else in the compression dynamo. It requires fluid, fuel, and coolant. So I have to check if this compression dynamo can do what coolants it can have and how much power it produces per coolant. Oh, coolant, it says here. Okay. So water is 1,000 millibuckets, 20% cooling. We can use gelate cryothium, and I assume that's gonna provide more cooling and better power. Greatly increases power generation efficiency. Coolant is required for operation. Stronger coolants are a little higher in efficiency. Yeah. So if we put, I'm gonna have to do some testing in creative properly for this on how and what to use in the compression dynamo to get the most power out of this, because I think we can generate insane amounts of power out of this dynamo, or at least a couple of dynamos, with just refined canola oil, and if not, get to the empowered oil that we wanted to. So over here, the way I did it, we have like grates where the fluid conduits go and where we have machines. And then over here, we're gonna have another grate. And basically I just set up the power right now just so it started running. And we're gonna say here is gonna be the fluid placer and then the fluid collector. So we need some of this scaffolding like so. And then if we have the 3 conduits there, that should be fine. And then we can do something, possibly, can we bring it to here? So we do, actually, would I be able to get away with getting that done? And then that would be the 3x3, right? So if we have a fluid placer there, it will place the fluid here. Yeah, we're gonna have to have a bit of a wonky setup, I think. We're not gonna be able to get it symmetrical, I think. So I think that's fine. I think actually we can just leave this middle part as is, and then we can go over on this side and say harden fluid duct, and go here, and then we do the whole thing here, and then we do the other thing over here, and then leave the middle kind of open. I think that will be fine. So I need to get out my fluid placer and fluid collector. So that's the collector, and then the placer was somewhere. There it is. There it is. So we're gonna put the fluid placer right there. Yeah, that's 3 wide, so that is fine. We can get ourselves some of the grated scaffolding and put it like this. And then over here, we're gonna have something in a sense like that, breaking all the things that I don't need to. So that's where the fluid's gonna be. So the fluid collector is gonna be here. And then in the middle, we're gonna have a scanner like that. Yeah, in the middle, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna take the canola out and process it with the empower and all that. We can probably fit maybe an empower in the middle. We'll see if we have enough space for that. But I can use actually just some treated wood fence. I think that'll look cool. Maybe like that for this part. So do you need power? I don't think so. So if we go here, you are set to deactivation. You can be fine and you need to be on pulse. So we're gonna say servo here, extract the oil. That should be placed. And then I need to make some crystallized canola. So I need to go set that up. So let me go get my atomic reconstructor and we can hook that up over here. All right, I managed to get crystallized canola oil automated. And I think in the next episode, we're gonna tackle the empowered canola oil. And I'm gonna show you right now how I did everything here. We have a pressure plate here with a automatic precision dropper set to deactivation, and then we have an atomic reconstructor set on redstone mode pulse. So basically every time the dropper drops an item on the pressure plate, this guy pulses, it converts into the crystallized canola seed, then it gets collected by this advanced item collector, and as only the crystallized canola seeds can go in here, We can't collect anything else like the canola from our conveyor belts or the canola seeds for that matter. And then we have an item duct going down here, going to this precision dropper. And basically this is keeping up. I think it's even just making the seeds just a tiny bit faster than this guy is using them. But basically the way we have this redstone here, it's a little bit of a magic thingy, mabob. Basically, this ender porcupine works in a way where if I go, let's say, down here and look at this, you can see the outline, like right underneath the Wayla or the one probe, that is outlining the canola oil right there. You can see it better now with the green outline. And basically, what that means is that this guy is just kind of like a phantom face of sorts for the oil. So the scanners can read that, but they're basically reading the oil up top. So this guy is reading the refined canola oil, and this guy crystallized canola oil. And the refined canola oil, as soon as it's placed, we trigger with a pulse former the precision dropper to drop a crystallized canola seed into the oil to turn it into the crystallized oil. And as soon as we get crystallized oil, we trigger with a pulse this guy that collects it. And I need to use a pulse firmer because even though these are kind of pulsing, I think if it would stop, this would break. Like if I ran out of crystallized canola seed, for example, we could possibly do a trick with a timer, maybe. And I might do a bit of work in between episodes and fix this up if we can to make it fully autonomous. What I would really like is to have collectors and placers that you could filter. And I don't know if the EMI annihilation planes, is it N? Is it two N's? These guys. Annihilation planes and fluid annihilations planes. There's also an identity one, which I don't know exactly what it does. But there's, I don't know if there's any other fluid thingy-bobs that we can use to collect fluids at least. I'm not sure. There's a fluid sieving machine, tree fluid extractor. What does this do? Oh, that's the ore processing. Is there fluid dictionary, fluid crafter, fluid pump? This guy, when placed above a fluid, the fluid pump will take that fluid as a filter and begin to drain all fluids at the same time in a working area. That's kind of like a pump for lava, but we could use it possibly for this, but we would have to put it on top. And I don't know if we have. Probably the transfer nodes would be able to pick up the right stuff with a filter. We could have the dropper elsewhere and then use the transfer node, but I think this is fine. It looks kind of cool. I'm gonna do a bit of work in between episodes and hopefully get it fixed up if I can to not be breakable. For example, right now I picked up a crystallized canola seed and this kind of stopped working. So if we toss it in there, it's gonna start working again. So I want to make it in a way where if I'm walking around and pick up something, I don't really break it in a way. And essentially, as soon as this guy fills up with 512 buckets, this should stop. And I want to see if I drain a bucket, or if I take a bucket out of it, if this starts working again. Like that is the original goal, basically here. So I think we're going to end the episode off here. I'm going to come back next episode and we're going to do some empowering of the canola seeds, because empowered canola seed is just basically canola seeds with the crystallized canola seed. So we are going to need crystallized canola seed here to get the crystallized oil. And we're also going to need crystallized canola seeds for the empowerer to get the empowered canola seeds. So we're going to see if we're probably going to have enough canola seeds because we have 32,000 on the backlog and that shouldn't be a problem. The problem might be that we need another one of these setups, and I really want to make this quiet because it's kind of annoying making zerping noises every so often. But we might need another one of these or some sort of dropper that drops it faster, or maybe do a bit of a thingy with this. Maybe we can do like 3 of them in a row or something. That might be cool, but we'll tackle that next time. So with that, I want to thank you all so much for watching. I'm hoping you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, make sure to hit the like button. You can also subscribe to see new videos. You can support me on Patreon if you want to play with me on this server, and I will see you all on in the next episode. Have a good one. Bye-bye.